right, we've got Andrea Fasano, of course.
Yep.
She's
Hey
here,
guys,
my co-host.
I'm rocking my Tokidoki hat.
I like that hat.
I know, I like it too.
It's pretty awesome. And of course, M.W. Bennett.
Greetings. How you doing?
Good. How are you? You're amazing. You're just. I love.
Oh, no, you're amazing.
Thank you.
No, he's terrific.
Oh, he's terrific.
I'm terrific. You're amazing, and she's spectacular.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're in agreement.
Yes, I love your stuff. I love reading your stuff. It's just amazing. It's a really, really amazing stuff.
Thank you.
You've got some new stuff out.
Yes.
That I know nothing about. Can you walk me through it?
Sure. Well, for the audience, I would like to talk about the first book here.
Sure.
That's Sanjata. He's my main character, and he's a part of a world, an entire universe of characters that look and act and are a little bit different than what you're used to seeing as far as their image, as far as where they're coming from, as far as their background. And he's a ex-mercenary, studies martial arts. He's into spirituality, and it's pretty much, to sum it up simplistically, it's a world of mysticism, martial arts versus technology and military.
I think it's pretty cool. Do you find that it's hard to find a publisher, or when you're trying to pitch this in the beginning?
Absolutely.
Not anymore, but in the beginning, especially because it's different, it doesn't fit in the mold. And I always think of, like, I don't know why, but I always think back to Pink Floyd's The Wall, like, you got to conform, everything's got to conform.
Marching soldiers right there.
Yeah, and it's like, and then we don't want people to really be different, but then when something like this that comes out that's different, we love it. And we're like, why aren't more things different? Well, because we've created this wheel and everything's just a cog.
Exactly. Well, I think what it is that everyone, they know the formula that works.
Right.
So and to take a chance on something that's a little different, they're afraid to. They're afraid to put money into something that we've never seen if it worked before.
It's outside of the box.
Exactly.
How did you get started writing? Because you're unbelievable, but I imagine it didn't, obviously it's a talent, but how do you figure that out?
Well, I've been telling stories my whole life. I love telling stories, and I grew up reading comics, DC and Marvel comics. I grew up watching cartoons, obviously, and watching movies. I love a good story. Even hip hop, like Slick Rick was my favorite MC back in the '80s because he was the first to really put telling stories on the map. So I've always been telling stories. Even when I was playing with my G.I. Joe Star Wars figures, I was telling stories. So I was like, I need to make my own stuff so I can tell stories.
What was your favorite comic book?
X-Men, definitely X-Men. For multiple reasons, but I love the idea how it was a similarity to what was going on in the real world as far as with dealing with discrimination and dealing with characters that were being discriminated against and how they handled it, and also the diversity of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that even amongst those characters.
Right, exactly,
yeah.
within those characters.
Which was unusual back then.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So to me, I related to those characters on many levels.
That's interesting.
Yeah, talk about how hard it was to actually get this to come about, like what the process. I guess we know how hard it was. Well, what was the process?
Well, for me, I was getting turned down by actual publishing houses. So I went on the internet and I searched for self-publishing companies. Basically, you pay them to just get it published, to do the distribution, put it on the internet, and they edit it. They have like different services depending on what package you want.
Yeah.
And
so pay for it.
Is that a good way to start?
I think for me,
yeah.
it was the only way that I can do it because, like we talked about earlier, no one was picking up my book. So.
And now everybody knows you and loves you, and obviously you can pick up distribution from a Marvel or from a DC or whatever. Once you've done that, it's okay. They can still come in, or even you can go with like a traditional, like a Penguin Random House.
Right. But the good thing now is that being that we're in the world of internet and technology, you can be your own promoter. So I created my own website. Facebook, of course, word of mouth. The con, last year I was actually I had a table here at Artist Alley here, so that was kind of awesome. That was my first time being on this side of the. So that was fun.
That's very cool. That is very cool. Where do you draw this from your own life, or is it, and your own experiences?
In multiple ways. In one sense, that my own experience of not seeing, being a comic book fan or being a fiction fan, not seeing certain things, not seeing myself in these characters, and then so in that sense, the lack of my own experience is what drew it. But also, I did borrow there's some military aspects to these stories, and as you know, I'm in the military, so I did borrow some of my experience there. It's different aspects of my life are in these books.
Sergeant
awesome.
First Class, correct?
Yeah, Sergeant First Class.
Thank
correct.
you for your service.
So thank you for your
Thank you
support.
very
I want to
much.
say thank you. The other day I didn't get a chance to thank you and to thank the amount of support that we got from the United States Army. We had a table here this weekend and we got a lot of love from people, and I was kind of shocked a little bit. And so I wanted to thank you and everyone who gave us support and love.
Now, why were you shocked? Just because it's Comic-Con and you didn't
I
think
think it was,
anyone would
I
pay
thought it was
attention?
Comic-Con because people are like, they're not here for that, you
Right.
know. So.
Well, and I would say, and I see this a lot, I travel a lot, you travel a lot. I love seeing soldiers in the airport
Me
because it's an
too.
opportunity. I go up quietly. I don't make a big deal. I don't stop them and say, hey, can we have a 15-minute conversation?
Right.
You know, I don't ask them questions. I just walk by and I say thank you. And
We appreciate that.
Do you? Because
yeah.
that's a weird thing for
We
me
do.
because we are the talker types.
Right.
So it is easier for me to almost walk up to you and say, hey, how are you? Who are you? Where are you from?
Right.
Than to just be like, thank you,
Right.
and walk away.
No, we love that. I mean, we love that. I mean, because you know we're fans too. Like there was some people that came up to our table and were like, you know, what are you doing here? Like, why are you here? These people don't want. But you'll be surprised how many people came up to our table in cosplay or not, and were questioning, you know, about the military and were
Wow.
interested. So
Well, and I think that also a lot of times, unfortunately, there are people who believe we shouldn't go to certain places in the world,
Right.
and we shouldn't be there as a nation. We shouldn't be there doing things. And the great thing about America is they're entitled to that opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
You can say, I don't think we should be here, there. I think we should be here, there, whatever.
Right.
And I think what happens is a lot of times people get that confused with the troops, right? So they get
Right.
angry
It's
at
not him who sent us there.
Right. So there are a lot of people who get angry at the troops and they don't support the troops. And this started back in Vietnam and it unfortunately has never ended. And so there are times when they don't get the appreciation they deserve or they don't get recognized or people don't walk up and say thank you.
Right.
And it's crazy because if you don't believe we should be there, and I say this all the time on BeTerrific, if you don't believe we should be there, that's fine. You're entitled to that. Go to your local politician
Right.
on any level, Congress, right to the president, I don't care, right? And say, I don't think we should be here, blah, 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 okay? But our troops go blindly into battle. They defend our freedom and our American way of life, and the reason why you get to put your head on the pillow at night and not worry about a bomb coming from somewhere else or anything crazy happening is because of the men and women of our armed services who defend
you.
our freedom. And it's unbelievable. So thank you.
No,
I
agreed.
would love to. There's another side. The other side to it is we do get some people who actually come up to us and they say, I don't agree with what you guys are doing. However, and then they say, you know,
That's nice.
so that's really nice. When we get that.
But it's very nice, and it's nice that they do that. But they could just say thank you.
Right. Right.
Like they don't.
But we
need
don't
to,
do it for thank you. You know.
Right, I know you don't,
Yeah.
obviously, but you deserve the recognition, and everybody likes the appreciation and the adulation,
Right.
especially when you're potentially giving your life for it. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that happened.
Thank you.
What do you got there?
This is part 2. This is Sanjata book 2, Weapons. The first one is called Blood Wars, and the second one is called Weapons. And after the first one, Sanjata went into hiding. He wanted to kind of keep his profile, keep him a low profile, and he was brought back out because of one of his friends were murdered. So he had to come out and solve the mystery of what happened.
Wow.
And it's an action. It's fun. It's a fun story.
How long does it take you to put these together?
Well, I've been working on these stories for as long as I can remember, but as far as when I actually decided to make it into a novel, because that was going to be a comic book, obviously.
Sure.
But when I decided I want to make it to a novel, I started in 2000. I finished the first one in 2008 because I actually was I was in basic training.
Sure.
When I was in Iraq, I was actually working on the first one. So it took a little longer. The second one took about 2 years.
Wow. And I'm sorry.
No, it's just amazing. I mean, I was going to say something about the self-publishing before, and how that's pretty cool that to take it from something where if you're writing it online or whatever, and then put it into a substantial book, something you could hold.
Right.
You must have felt so good
Oh my
doing
God.
that the day
when,
you did that.
When you get that box
Yeah.
at your house and you open it and your books are there, it's like, and you get to hold it because you've been seeing it on the computer the
Yep,
whole
yep.
time. So when you get to hold it, you just sit there like this for the longest, and you're just like holding it.
Like, this is mine. I created this.
I have a friend who just finished his book just came out, and his name is Micah, and he's going crazy. His book has just came out, and he finally got it, physical. So he knows what I'm talking about.
Now you sign. I mean, what's it like when you sign stuff? That's got to be a pretty crazy trip, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I'm still a fan. I'm still a fan of it. So I try to be conscious. It's like we were talking about earlier, even with the military or whether it's my books. When people come up to me, I try to be, I try to be respectful because I know that how it feels to be on the other side of that. And I'm always going to be a fan, so
That's pretty cool.
I'm trying to be sensitive to that.
You like
Right.
video games too.
Yeah, I'm really not into the video games as much. My son is the gamer. He's addicted. But I'm less.
What kid
about the-
isn't, right?
I'm sorry.
I said, what kid isn't?
Yeah, exactly.
What else you got? You got a couple other things,
Yeah, this
right?
is some other things. This is just like a book. Has my sketches. It's like
Cool.
some drawings that I've done. Just to see, I have different styles of drawing that I try to cartoony, some more illustrated, and I try to do
wow.
different styles. And this is a
Very
comic
strong.
book. This is a comic book. It takes place in between the two stories, so it's kind of a go between the two stories. The two
Really?
books, yeah.
Wow. Kind of like a mini book.
Right, exactly. So like in between stories. So
Sure.
it's, for some who don't want to read the novel, they want just the comic book version of it.
Or maybe you're in between. You need to take a break. This is wow.
Cool, right?
Wow, that is good. Did you do all the
Yes, I did,
illustrating?
yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
That is very impressive.
And this is a comic strip that I've done. It's called Beyond the Boulevard. It's loosely based on my younger son Tao, who by the way was in the movie Being Elmo. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
I've seen that movie. Yeah.
You know the little boy at the end?
Yeah.
That's my son.
Wow.
Yeah, Tao Bennett.
So
He's a
cool.
puppeteer. He makes his own puppets.
Was it hard for him when that stuff went down?
Yeah, it was a little hard for him, but
And where's he at now?
I have no idea. So I don't
No,
know.
I don't mean him. I mean, where's your son?
Oh, my son. I have no idea. No, I'm kidding. No, he's at the Million Man March. He went to the Million Man March anniversary, so he's in Washington right now.
But I mean, he's a
still
puppeteer?
doing it, yeah.
He's still doing
He's
it?
a puppeteer. If you go to Sanjata 22
Yeah.
on YouTube, no space, you'll actually see what he's doing now. He has his own characters called the Rumble Ensemble.
Wow.
And he's making his own puppets.
And he learned from
Yes.
that whole project.
Yeah, he learned from that, and he actually got it because of the fact that he was so passionate about what he was doing that he was noticed. He met one of the actors from Sesame Street. She did her own show, and she saw him in the crowd with a puppet, and she spoke to him at the end, and she introduced him to Kevin that was working on the movie.
Sure.
So that's how that came about.
I interviewed Kevin right before that.
Right.
And it was amazing because I watched the movie on a plane right after that.
Right.
And I remember your son. And
Yes.
then we landed, and my phone, I got all these messages. I was in the air when it broke, when the
Right.
story broke.
Right.
And
wow.
yeah, and it was crazy because the whole thing was just nuts. But because watching the movie, he touched so many kids'
Right. It's a shame
lives.
that had to happen.
Yeah, and so did all of the people at the Muppets. And I think that's the moral of the story is that everybody at the Muppets gives back.
Right.
And that's the really important thing to remember.
I wish him the best, and I hope he's doing
Yeah.
okay. I hope he's.
Yeah, absolutely. You got some more stuff
Yeah,
to
this
show
is
us,
just
more
some
drawings?
This is some.
We should
drawings.
have your kid on, by the way.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, obviously not here because
Right.
we're almost done, but
How old is he?
He's now 15.
maybe in the
He
studio
was
in
8. He
Secaucus.
was 8 at the time they filmed that. So he's
Wow.
In Secaucus, maybe.
okay. Let me know. I'll have him.
That'd be great.
He's a great player. He loves puppeteering. That's
Wow.
his passion.
This is
How
great
cute.
work.
My cousins, they're twins. They're about 8, 9 years old. They just got into that ventriloquism.
Oh, okay.
That's what they
yeah.
like. They like the
Okay.
puppets, but they want to try
Yeah.
the ventriloquism.
That's a talent in
It's
itself.
hard.
Yeah, a lot of people think that puppeteering is just moving, but
No,
it's actual technique to it.
Right?
I could definitely not talk without
Right.
moving my lips.
Yeah, but he doesn't do
Exactly.
ventriloquism. He's a
No,
straight
but it's,
puppeteer.
No, I
you
know.
have to embody as if it's a
Exactly.
person and move
It
the
comes
way
alive.
it does.
It's amazing when
Yeah.
you see the puppet laying there, and then as soon as they put their hand in,
Yeah.
it like comes to life.
Right, right.
It's different than animation. It's different than anything else. It's like seeing the puppet come to life is amazing.
It absolutely is. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I'm so
absolutely.
happy you're here. You are unbelievable. Your stuff is unbelievable. Where can people find it?
You can go to sanjatasaga.com. That's
Okay.
my website. I'm on Facebook also. And yeah, you just as Mahes, Mahess on
Okay.
Facebook, but Sanjata Saga, SUNJATASAGA.com.
Okay, excellent. I love it. I want everybody to go there. I want them to get your stuff.
Appreciate it.
And I want them to keep reading it because it's awesome, and you're awesome.
You are.
And thank you again for defending our freedom. But I wanted you to come on here in a different capacity to talk about this because it's unbelievable.
I appreciate
love what
it.
you've done.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. M.W. Bennett.
Thank you.
M.W. Bennett, thank you so much. Sergeant First Class Bennett, United States Army. Wow,
Thank you.
I am in awe. We're going to take a break, Andrea. We're going to come back for our final wrap-up. So we're not going to move very far. It's not
Nope.
going to be a very long break, but unfortunately it's come to an end.
I know, the end of
believe that?
Comic-Con.
Are you sad?
Yes, I am actually.
Yeah.
I'm already looking forward to next year.
I know
You
it's
are?
like,
yeah.
it's like it really is like a bittersweet. We work our tails off.
We do.
Our voices are shot, but on the other hand, you meet so many people and so many people you see for the second year.
It's so alive. It's insane.
And then all the energy. Yeah. It's amazing. All right, we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere for your final wrap up. We're going to break it down right after this on Be Terrific. You're the Terrifics, and you make Be Terrific special.